Welcome to Work Life Unbalanced, a Tier 1 web series exploring the opportunities and challenges of virtual work. I'm Jordan Rickard, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Heather Huber. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Jordan. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. We're going to talk about highly connected teams.
And joining us for today's conversation is Elise Margol and Victoria Rodgers, two veteran remote workers from the Southeast who have been developing effective virtual teams for years. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having
me. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. So let's get started. Elise, do you think it's harder to feel connected to your coworkers, especially now that we're all virtual?
No, absolutely not. I think it's just the perception, and it's a mindset change. I remember years ago, before I came to Tier 1, I worked for a really large Fortune 500 company in a learning department, and they decided that everybody needed to be more collaborative. And instead of letting us can remain in our flexible kind of work from home, work in the office kind of arrangement, they decided that everyone needed to be in the office 8 to 5. But that was all they did because their perception was that physical proximity was the key to collaboration, and it wasn't. And now, fast forward, I've been working remote for, 10 plus years. And I have better connections with my coworkers, my clients now, and we're remote.
So what I'm hearing you say, Elise, is that physical proximity doesn't guarantee a connected team. It doesn't guarantee collaboration. Victoria, from your perspective, what is a key characteristic of a highly connected virtual team?
You know, that's a really good question. I really think that it has to do about being intentional. You have to be intentional about developing those relationships and those connections because you're no longer in the same physical space with the ability to just walk into an office and sit down and chit chat, right? So like that level of intentionality is really about getting to know and understand the whole person, what motivates them and engages them, and continue to understand that on a personal level. It's a concept that I call being professionally nosy. I do it not only to understand a business and understand their people, but also apply it to relationships, just to understand, just really understand your colleagues, but you have to really lead with some intention to do so.
That's so helpful, Victoria. I love that professional nosy. I think that's something we can all take with us as we learn about each other and really connect with one another virtually. So Elise, what do you think are some unique practices for virtual teams that really enable that professional nosiness and helping us stay well connected?
I think to Victoria's point, it's being visible. And being visible, not just in the physical sense, right? Like we're all looking at each other on video right now, which is tremendously helpful. But it's also being visible, like to show up with your whole self. As we at Tier 1 talk about, we show up as our whole selves all the time. And what that means is that Victoria can be professionally nosy with me, but it feels good. It's a feel good. She's trying to get to know me and what makes me tick. And as well, then we can use tools. We can use video conferencing. We can use IM. We can use social platforms to help us stay connected in the physical sense.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. That virtual teams have to make themselves visible to each other, using all the different tools that we have, but also using a commitment, to be authentic, to be yourself. And that drives trust, that drives a shared sense of purpose and collaboration. Victoria, final thought for today, close us out. What's one thing you'd like to see our audience try this week with their newly virtual team, or maybe it's a long-standing virtual team?
You know, one thing that I would love for people to try is to create those same safe spaces that they normally create in their offices, in their physical spaces, and actually create them utilizing a virtual tool like Teams to create like a virtual happy hour, or have the opportunity to just do a virtual lunch. But it's not just about setting up that event on a calendar. There has to be a purpose behind it. How do we connect with each other outside of work? Let's set work aside. Let's take the opportunity to get to know each other. But in order for you to do that successfully, you're going to have to really lean into those leadership skills and those emotional intelligence skills of being vulnerable and being authentic, and truly creating an environment where you're sharing yourself and accessing the best parts of yourself to share with your team in order to solicit and invite them to do the same. And it won't happen immediately, but for sure, it'll glean some really good insight of your teams, for sure.
Thanks, Victoria. I know right now we all kind of need that moment to just kind of pause and just talk with each other and connect with each other and share of each other. We've got a lot going on, each and every one of us. So having that space and creating that safe space as a leader, I think, is incredibly important. So thank you, Elise and Victoria, so much for sharing of yourselves today. We really appreciate all of your insights.
Yeah, thank you. This has been great. I'm feeling more connected already. Thank you for tuning in this week. Be sure to leave us a comment. Tell us how your virtual team is adapting, what you are doing to build connections, and tell us other topics that you would like us to explore. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can check out our upcoming episodes.
And don't forget to join us next time as we talk about a virtual meeting makeover. So thanks so much. We hope you all stay safe, stay healthy, stay well, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you.